because of the conversations I had on this one particular build, this 106 unit build, the faux pas story we shared here, it created a flow chart, if you will, for investors and capital into our business, so that the co-GP is actually a piece of our underwriting today. So what it does is it allows, like some of my other retail investors who can write checks for 1.5 to 2 million, it allows them to come in and be a co-GP on a couple of smaller deals.
As an operator, I know other investors are romanticizing multifamily investing, and I'm looking to learn from other investors' mistakes. I know you are too, and you found the right place. Welcome to Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Hey everybody, and welcome to Multifamily Missteps. I'm your host, Jerome, and you guys are in for a treat, man. This guy's the real deal. He's got TV shows. He's got other stuff going on. He's building in Florida. Dave Seymour's in the building. Brother, how are you?
I'm well, my man. He's got TV shows. He's got skills. he's got street rep. I'm okay, brother. How you doing?
Listen, man, if they Google your name, they're gonna find the firefighter ended up on TV, right?
Yeah, so they will.
Give them a little bit of your background. Don't give them too much. Give them a little.
Yeah, no, I know it's a short show, and I like that. The short version is this: growing up, working class background, man. I'm an immigrant from London, England, and now I live in Boston. You put that accent together, good luck. But my old man taught me to work hard. Trade 8 hours of my time for somebody else's services and money and make somebody else rich. And, when you come to America, if you choose to, you can step out of that. I would love to tell you I chose to be an entrepreneur. I chose to be in real estate. I was forced. I became a firefighter, as you said, loved it, really loved it. I mean, loved the camaraderie, loved the adrenaline, loved the service. But I was a financial donkey. I was an illiterate. I believed in a company pension. I believed in a 401k. I believed that, in America, you've got these things called credit cards, and it's okay to run them up. It's, just make the minimum balance. Life will be fine. And as we know, that's bullshit, right? And I suffered the consequences of the downturn in the market. I've refinanced my primary residence, I think 3 times in 18 months because a friend of mine said it was a good move. And I suffered that. I suffered financial pain. And in America, you can only work more hours. I'm up to 120 hours a week. The second marriage is going down the toilet, and I got to do something different. So I was forced into entrepreneurship. Knew that there was money in real estate because I worked construction. Knew that there were people who were showing up onto my construction sites who weren't covered in shit, right? They were driving nicer cars. They were smiling. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then when I got to talk to them, bro, they weren't that smart. You know what I mean? They weren't Harvard geniuses. So I learned real estate. I went to a seminar. I implemented what I learned. I went after it the same way I went after firefighting with a vengeance, all in, no surrender. And, got recognized for what I did. Got recognized by the state of Massachusetts as a distressed asset investor. Worked with the state. Got recognized by New York. They liked that big English guy. He looks like he could get kind of angry. They built a show around my business, flipping Boston. And then the rest is history. Now you're an expert because you're on TV, which is a bunch of shit too. By the way, there are more morons on TV than there are in the real world, I think. And I just progressed my business from there. Been very blessed on this journey, and been able to teach and share and implement and do and ride the roller coaster of real estate. So that's the short version. That was pretty good. I did that in like 4 minutes. That's a record.
And you got all the high points, Dave. So
there you go.
You go from flipping Boston to doing cartwheels in Florida.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah. COVID. Thank you, COVID, for putting me out of business. So pre-COVID, I was asked by some guys out in Cali to brand a new hard money lending business. Wrap hard money lending around the guy from flipping Boston, We were working on a line of credit out of New York, 50 mil. Put some beautiful systems in place. January, February 20, we're killing it. We got 15, 20 million in loans in the pipe. We're going to make a spread, a little bit of yield. Everything's beautiful. And then we know what happened in March of 2020. Wall Street said, no, thank you. Not interested in, non-QM, non-owner occupied loans. We're done. I'm out of business in 24 hours, brother. 7 loan originators, 18,000 square foot office space, who still wanted me to pay their lease for the next 5 years. And, here we go. You learn, right? So I had an epiphany at that moment in time. And the epiphany really was, I want to control the capital. He who controls the money wins this race. And I reconnected with my business partner and dear friend, Walter Novicki. Walter's 57, I'm 55. We're just young in this game, but combined, we got at the E-suite level, we've got about 60 years of experience. Walter's been down in Southwest Florida for 25 years. So COVID hit, the conversation was what's next? And we believed, as many people did, that there would be an opportunity in multifamily investing, 50 to 150 unit complexes, repositioning, mom and pop organizations facing the challenges of rent payments and all of the stresses that COVID brought to the marketplace. And we couldn't have been more wrong. We couldn't have been more wrong, right? because all of this free money came flooding into the economy. Whoever would have thought, those clowns would do what they did, and now we're paying the price with inflation. But we established ourselves in Florida as an operator. We picked up some assets while we were down there. Walter has, like I said, 25 plus years in Southwest Florida in development and repositioning. We brought in my other partner, Eric Wilson, 27 years old. He's the genius. He's the guy with systems and operations and that kind of process. So you've got my dynamic good looks and beautiful oratory skills. You've got Walter's feet on the street, getting it done, son. And then you've got the young gun, Eric Wilson, coming into the fray to keep it all together and implement and create systems to operate what's now a $350 million business. So that's how we established ourselves in Florida. And then as the compressed cap rates put not only us out of that arena, it put a lot of other operators out of the arena nationwide, because how can you sell a 7-8% cash on cash return to your investor if you got to buy at a 3 cap without promising 10 years worth of rent increases at 10% every year, which is bullshit. We all know that. But they're selling that crap, bro. They're peddling that real estate porn with no concerns. So that's how we ended up down in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Tampa, St. Petersburg. And when the market said you can't buy established commercial multifamily assets at a decent capitalization rate that makes sense for the average, accredited investor, we then pivoted once again over to build for rent. And that's where we're at today with about 330 million in development projects in various stages of development throughout Southwest Florida.
So I think you said there's like 60 years of experience.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there have been some hiccups, but overall, it sounds like everything just goes as planned, right? I mean, there's no missteps in this thing. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm just living the dream. I sleep, a solid 1.5 hours every night because everything's so perfect. And you're laughing because you identify, you resonate with that, right? You're a player too. You're not, we don't do this half measures. Here's the thing. In business, there are some things that we do have control over and some things we don't. We use our very best experience. 60 years of combined experience allows us to be more solid predictive wise than maybe somebody who just started 5 years ago. We've been through multiple downturns and adjustments and interest rate hikes and reductions and property values going up, property values going down. So, my old partner, Pete from the show, used to say, I've played this video game before, right? Mm-hmm. And we always do the very best we can going into any situation because our number one goal is to be a steward of our investors' capital. All right. That's what keeps me awake at night. is being a man of my word, being a man of integrity. So, what's gone right? I'm still in the game. I'm stronger than I ever was. What's gone wrong? I've relied on, other people on occasions where I trusted more than I should have. And, the mishaps is the topic of the show. And we're in a project right now, and I'll share this story if you find it appropriate, but it's almost a $24 million faux pas with approximately $2 million worth of investor capital at risk. And I had approximately 36 hours to come up with $3 million or lose investor capital. Yeah. Yeah. I told you, a solid 1.5 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night. I'm a rock star. So what happened was this, and I know you'll resonate with this as well, because we talked about it a little bit when you came on my show, was that every industry pops up supportive industries around it. So what is our core industry? You and I are multifamily real estate investors, ground up development investors in residential asset classes. Well, there are businesses that pop up around that. And one of them is capital brokers. And capital brokers are a special breed. They promise you the world. They're like the best looking girl at the dance. And then the lights go on at 2:00 in the morning, and man, she ain't so pretty no more, right? And we're in a project right now. It's a 106 unit build. I think I shared that with you in Cape Coral, Florida. It was a $3 million ground acquisition with some entitlement in place. We probably put in another 200,000-300,000 of our own capital to bring it to the point of vertical permits. And we did a lot of that work while we were still in contract before actually executing on the deal. A money broker came to us and said they would like to introduce us to a bona fide billionaire from the Midwest. We won't tell you he lived in Chicago. You might try and figure out who he is, so I won't tell you that. But he's from the Midwest. And this guy met my partner. They talked about the deal, and the guy basically said, I'll do the whole deal. I want to build out my portfolio in Southwest Florida from the Midwest, and I'll do the whole deal. I'll put up the $5 million in equity. We'll use our banking or his banking relationships to bring the rest of the capital. You guys work off of your development fee, AC fee, and we'll do a prorated equity share at 5-year disposition. We're like, this is awesome. What a great way to bust out into into what we do at a higher level with a new partner. And we went out to his town. We met with him. We met at his house. We broke bread. We fine-tuned a couple of little negotiation points, and everything was kumbaya. Or was it? Dun, dun, dun. So leaving the town that we met in, his hometown, the last commentary was, looking forward to it. Let's fly you down to Cape Coral. Want you to see the site, when you see the plans, when you meet the builder, want you to feel good about, what we're doing. Let's get some capital escrowed in so that everybody's committed, looks good. We got a contract in place, ready to be signed. Hey, where are you? Crickets. Where are you? Crickets. Are you coming down to Cape Coral? Crickets. Crickets. Nothing, man. Nothing. Went to DEFCON 5, silent mode. And then, like 2 or 3 days before we need to close the land acquisition, this guy sends a text to the money broker, not even to us, me. Changed my mind. Hope nobody's upset. That was it. Changed my mind. Hope nobody's upset. Like, I promised to be your best friend in the playground, and now I don't want to be your boy anymore. And that was it.
Yee.
And I'm like, my partner is ex-military, special forces. I'm a firefighter. I'm a brawler from the streets of London. And this idiot invited us to his house. Like my instant reaction is to go wait in the bushes outside. You know what I mean? Like that's what my caveman wants to do. You only learn that kind of lesson one time, and then I got to pivot. Like I said, I got 3 days to find $3 million. Brought in a new partner who I brought into the company, who had strong ties to a lot of capital relationships. 24 hours, we get a $2 million bridge loan, 2 and 10, still paying on that, 20 grand a month. And I raised $1 million from my own pool of investors and brought them in on a co-GP relationship, pro forma in out. These are experienced investors, by the way. There's not your average guy. These guys are writing checks for 500 plus. Bought them in, wrapped out the rest of the acquisition, and then went to work. And we targeted out 3 months worth of interest before we start to scrape dirt. And we're in a position to do that now. Next week, we get the thumbs up from the capital debt partners that are coming in, and we should be able to get the deal done. So look, what's the lesson? Is it too good to be true? Maybe. Do you trust all capital brokers? Don't trust any of them. Understand that those relationships are valuable if you don't have all of those conduits to institutional type capital. But to round that whole conversation out, as long as you stay in the trenches, as long as you never quit, right? You could just throw your hands up and say, hey, you all read the PPM. It said that you could potentially lose money, right? You could do that. You could be the asshole. Or you go to war on behalf of those investors, knowing that, failure is not an option ever for me. That's just my mentality. And then we found a resolution to it, and we found that capital, and we were able to execute on it. But always have contingencies, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then continue to work the process. So that's my uh-oh story for today. I'm sure I can create another one before long, right?
The knowledge, deal flow, experience, and capital to be successful. They often try to overcome these challenges out of order, slowing or eliminating their ability to get the next deal done. We have developed a framework that allows them to gain the knowledge they need to find profitable deals. When they use our system, they create time and location freedom, as well as the generational wealth they desire for their family. The Multifamily Kickstart program has proven to be the fastest way to establish credibility and build a profitable apartment portfolio. Hop over to jeromemyers.co to find out more information. Hopefully not. Hopefully you get some smooth selling, because you fought some really tough fights. So Dave,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, how in the world did this guy go raise $3 million in you said 36 hours?
Yeah, 36 hours. Yeah.
So why if these guys were ready to write checks, why not just use them from the beginning? Because you had to have a previous relationship with them.
Yeah, I did. So the retail capital, the bridge lender was a bridge lender. That's a capital supply that came through the partner that we bought in. But the retail investors that came in that bought the rest of that stack together to write up to take out the land acquisition and the permits in place, they were actually on a couple of other deals. And I said to them, let's take you off of this deal. Let's put you into this one, put some more capital in. Let's bring your capital commitment to the Cape Vista project up. I said, and what I can do is I can offer you a co-GP position. And we created, an equity multiple scenario. Again, all pro formas, nothing's guaranteed. But it pro formas out at like a 3.6 to a 4.2, depending on exit disposition scenario 5 years out. These guys have the liquidity, if you will, to be able to hold that capital in play. We gave them a small quarterly pref paid prior to any cash flow coming in, so that they felt good that there was money moving back towards them rather than just away from them. And then we put a good PPM together. We put a good operating agreement together. You start with a big picture discussion. What gets you excited? I say that often. What's exciting to you? Oh, I want a 20x on my money. Then go buy Bitcoin, right? I'm not your daddy, right? If you want to invest in the Clydesdale of wealth, multifamily real estate and development, then I can help you out. So just being able to listen and to serve what their financial needs are. Because look, man, especially coming off of COVID now, there's so much capital sitting dry powder in the marketplace that is now losing massive value because of inflation. right? We are now the attractive girl at the party again. You and I as commercial investors. So that's how I brought them in. They were happy to move from a 1.5 in 2 years to a targeted 3.6, 4.2 in 5 years. So you make it a good deal for them and a good deal for you.
Now that's interesting. The good deal for you.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect that your terms were more attractive with your second option than your first, but I might be wrong about that.
No, they were absolutely more attractive. Look, it's a technique in sales, and it's not deceptive sales, right? I want to preface that. But if you give a potential investor or a client or a customer an A/B choice, people love to feel like they're choosing, right? So if the A/B choice is good, either one is good for them, but either one is also good for me, then what's the concern, right? There's no concern. There's no losers in that scenario. They either came in on the on the one deal at a 1.5 targeted equity multiple, or they come in on the second deal with a 3.6 to 4.2, a little more of a risk profile, larger building, more moving parts, $22 million, GMP contract with our GC. I mean, there's a lot going on that deal in comparison to the smaller deal that they were in on before. But you don't know what somebody wants until you ask them, Jerome. So that's how I structure a lot of what I do. Ask questions and then try and listen, which isn't always my strong suit.
So did you change the process overall? Because I mean, this isn't your last dance. I mean, you got out of that one, but how'd you change the process?
Yeah, no, we did. We changed the process. So because of the conversations I had on this one particular build, this 106 unit build, the faux pas story we shared here, it created a flow chart, if you will, for investors and capital into our business, so that the co-GP is actually a piece of our underwriting today. So what it does is it allows, like some of my other retail investors who can write checks for 1.5 to 2 million, it allows them to come in and be a co-GP on a couple of smaller deals. I'm doing 15 build for rent townhomes in St. Pete. I've got 76 higher end build for rent communities in Fort Myers. So, these particular projects give them the ability to come in early and take that earlier risk with us. So that's land acquisition, going through entitlement. But with the connections that we have in those markets, we're confident that we can get through a lot of those more cumbersome parts of development faster than the average bear, right? I'm not a huge conglomerate with multiple people to tick a box when my E-suite can meet on a committee and very quickly execute on a deal. So it's created some pretty exciting processes for us. It's also allowed me to share that flow with some venture capitalists. We got a VC group that's looking to park some substantial amount of capital with us in the next 60 days. So all of those pocket deals that we know are there, that we've been, verbally dancing around, the game, right? We'll be able to execute on those. So we're in a position to deploy anywhere between 35 and 50 million in co-GP scenarios in the next 90 to 120 days throughout Southwest Florida. Because of the challenge that we faced with the 106, it created a new capital stack formula that we believe is going to be very powerful, not only for us, but also for our early investors and our LP investors as they come in. And then we take that out with the construction debt. So pretty creative.
Yeah, and I think you want to reward those folks who are taking on a little bit more risk.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Confusion about what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. So,
yeah, for sure.
Beautiful. So final question, Dave.
Yes, my man.
What words of wisdom do you have for the listeners?
Yeah, never give up, never lay down, never surrender. Trust but verify. And you don't have to know everything before you do anything. That's the creed, right? Otherwise you sit there and just deer in the headlights and paralysis analysis, and there's no execution. You got to do something to get something, and doing something isn't just learning, it's actually implementing what you learn. So it's kind of my creed.
Knowing and doing are not the same thing.
For sure.
Most people think they are.
For sure.
Dave, this was outstanding, man. Thank you so much for giving us a true insight into what development really is, and some of the ways that you can be taken advantage of. And I call it taking advantage of. If somebody's holding the bag and then they pull it away from you, maybe trying to negotiate different terms, maybe just trying to make your project sync, whatever it is, not the best business practice. So kudos to you for figuring it out, man.
Thanks, brother.
And to the listeners, the pack's with you. We'll talk soon.
You made it to this juncture, so you really love what we shared on this episode of Myers Methods Presents Multifamily Missteps. Do us a favor. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. And share this with somebody who's interested in multifamily investing. Until the next time, the pack is with you.